This is the Flisser or Fleecer 11-in-1 multi-tool from AliExpress. Now, I truly believe this might be one of, if not the best multi-tool you can get for under £10 British. I believe I picked this up on AliExpress for about £6.50, and then there's tax on top of that. I think in total it costs £8 with free shipping, but this thing is definitely... I've been using it a fair amount. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to see. There are some scratches on the finish from where it's been dented in my pocket from other tools. I've dropped it or whatnot, but I must say this thing really is a powerhouse. It's pretty weighty. It's solid feeling. There's no give, no bend, no nothing, which, to be completely honest, that's all the bend I can get out of it, which really isn't that much when you look at something... Most other multi-tools definitely have a little bit of wiggle in that area. There's not much coming from this, to be completely honest. It really is solidly built and quite weighty. The main head of this multi-tool is not a plier, it's scissors. And as I've said before, I prioritize scissors in my multi-tool. I believe they are more useful to me than pliers in a day-to-day, everyday usage. I definitely find myself using scissors more than I find myself using pliers. So to me, large and strong scissors are more important than pliers. That being said, the scissors on these are really quite nice scissors. They are spring-loaded, as most scissors are, but most pliers aren't, which is, again, nice. The spring-loaded is a nice feeling. They're definitely really solid feeling. They're quite thick blades, and they come... I mean, they're not the sharpest in the world, but again, they're definitely sharp enough to get the job done. You can see really quick, comparing this size-wise to something like the Dog Power Pint here, you can see size-wise, there's really not that much in it. That is quite a similar... Obviously, the Power Pint tapers up at the top here, and the Fleecer 11-in-1 does not. But apart from that, in your pocket, these are pretty much the same size. Now, this retails for 60, and this retails for 6. So, there's definitely a bit of a discrepancy in the number of tools. But again, coming back to these scissors, these are really nice, weighty, decent, sharp scissors. Now, I don't know how well they will sharpen up. I have sharpened them once, and the blade edge did come through quite well, so they're definitely sharpenable, but I don't know, in comparison to something like the Roxon's scissors, I don't know how well these will hold an edge. As for other tools, the tools are on the outside. The only tool you have on the inside action of the tool is the scissors. The rest are on the outside. So starting on this side, we have here the blade itself. Now this is a kind of Tanto style blade, I suppose. The edge is... it's there. The blade is sharp, but it's not the sharpest blade in the world. This would definitely need a bit of sharpening. Although I have been using it. It does the job, but it's really not the sharpest blade, especially out the box. On the other side here, we have the bottle opener flathead screwdriver. And this flathead is quite a nice shape, and the strength of this tool, the metal it's made out of and the sturdiness, there's no give in this whatsoever. There's no wiggle, there's no rattling, there's nothing. It is solid. This makes quite a good pry bar if you need it to. And again, this is the kind of thing where if you snap the flathead screwdriver off, oh well, you get another one. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, if you happen to snap the head off of this, so what? This is the kind of tool where I'm far more willing to use tools for not really what they're designed for, because it's so cheap that who cares? It's small and cheap, it fits into your pocket or whatever, and it'll do the job. But yeah, on that side, like I said, we had the knife, Tanto style blade, relatively sharp, got a nice point on it, but not the sharpest blade in the world. And then on this side, we have got the bottle opener, flathead screwdriver, pry bar thing. These have got quite nice nail nicks. They do pull out really quite easily, and they've got a really positive snap to them. There is no lock on them. Well, they have a friction lock. So effectively they're held in place by friction. So if you do push it, it will come, but there's quite a positive action to it. It does definitely hold itself in place quite nicely. There's no looseness to it. On the bottom of where the bottle opener is on this side, we have this little keyring hole, and this is quite nice. Not something I find myself using on many tools, to be completely honest. The only tool I actually use on a keyring is the Swiss Army Victorinox Classic SD. I have that on a set of keys because that really is a suitable size. But this, again, like the PowerPoint, PowerPint, it's a little bit too weighty for me to use the included keyring holes. But I suppose for someone out there, it's nice that it's included. Now, on the other side, we have a combination tool. So this is a file, and I must say, usually the cheaper tools have really bad files. This one's file is really quite a good file. It's very, very grippy. It is actually a decent file, which is not common on cheaper multi-tools, especially those from the likes of China. Usually they come with a file that's near on useless. But yeah, this is a combination tool of a file, and up here we have like a parcel letter opener. This thing is really sharp. Compared to the knife, this edge is very, very sharp. It slices through cardboard boxes and letters, and I've cut rope with it before in the same way you would with like a standard rope cutting end. Fold it over, hook, pull through. It's, to me, it's been more useful than the knife blade, but I think the knife blade just needs a really decent sharpen, which, to be completely honest, isn't something I've given it yet. So it has potential, but yeah, that multi-tool, really quite a decent little multi-tool. On the back of that here, we have a little mini flathead screwdriver. I found this, again, quite useful in a pinch. It's not a Phillips or a dedicated bit driver in terms of usability, but it's definitely got its uses. It's quite small, so you can do things like eyeglasses or screws that you find in phones, electronics, that kind of thing. But behind that is something which I haven't used, but it's nice to have. So right behind that is an even smaller end, and it's actually a SIM card ejector. So it's the tool you would use to pop out the SIM card on your phone. But now, obviously, when phones come with SIM card tools, they're not expensive to manufacture, but they're so tiny and flimsy that you tend to lose them. So having a dedicated tool is really quite nice. Now, it not only is useful, in fact, I haven't used it to pop out a SIM card on a phone or a memory card slot or whatever you would find. The only thing I have actually found myself using this for is pressing the reset buttons on different electronics like smart plugs and routers, stuff like that. Things that have really tiny recessed reset buttons that you need something really small to get into the thing and press and hold it for a few seconds to reset it. The end on this is so small that it's really quite good at that. So it's definitely got its uses. Well, initially I was thinking, who needs a SIM card tool on a multi-tool that you're taking everywhere with you? That usage is actually, again, using it not exactly what it's designed for, but again, it's useful like that. Now, a smart implementation on the bottom side of the multi-tool, there are these two little bits here that can be pulled out with your fingernail, one on either side of the multi-tool's arms. So the first one on this side is a little mini set of tweezers. And again, these are your standard tweezers, very reminiscent of the ones that you'll find in a Victorinox Swiss Army knife. Nice and springy, strong, sturdy. They definitely do the job. I really think these are a really nice implementation of space. The fact that they slot in there, they hold themselves really nicely in there, and they are there when you need them. It's just a really nice use of space that I haven't seen done on a multi-tool before. Now, the other side is a bit less useful. It's this little tiny spoon thing. It's like a really miniature spoon. Supposedly it's an ear pick, so they imagine you putting this into your ear canal and scraping earwax out the inside of it. I was taught never to put anything smaller than my elbow into my ear, aka never put anything in your ear, but obviously cotton buds every now and then. But yeah, I don't think it's a wise idea to go sticking something like this in your ear. The risk of puncturing your eardrum is quite high. I'm not 100% sure if there's any other usage for something like this, I'm not going to lie. I guess you could use it for scratching or scraping, but the blade edge is probably going to be better for that, or the small screwdriver or something like that. It's not a recessed spoon either. It's just a flat, so it's not like you could put anything in the spoon if you were inclined to do that. I don't know. This one feels a bit of a swing and a miss. I can't think of any uses that are actually any good for me, or any uses in general, apart from using this as a very dangerous ear scraping tool. That one kind of, yeah, like I said, it's a bit of a swing and a miss. Whereas on the other side, the tweezers are really quite a useful implementation, especially considering the space that they're in. I think those are quite good. But yeah, bringing it back, all in all, for the fact that this costs, what, £8 total, and it's a really, really solid multi-tool. As I said before, it's weighty. It has got heft to it. It's heavier than something like the PowerPint. It's got no wiggle to it whatsoever. It is a solid bit of kit. All the tools pop out and hold nicely. There's no wiggle to them. I don't know what steel this is made out of on the pages you can buy it from on AliExpress, which the one I bought it from will be linked in the description. It doesn't say anything about the makeup of the steel, so I have no idea how strong the steel actually is. From sharpening it, it seems to hold an edge pretty well, and it's not too difficult to sharpen. So it's somewhere in that mid-range of pretty standard multi-tool steel. It's not the best in the world, but it's not complete rubbish. It doesn't snap. Like I said, I have used this a fair old whack. It's definitely a handy little tool. If you are looking for something that you can just buy and throw into a glove box and forget about, or throw it into a deep pocket of a backpack, or this is a really, really nice multi-tool. There's no pocket clip, no belt pouch, no extra tools, or it is just the multi-tool. But again, for £8, this is a really nice little multi-tool. I was not expecting this higher quality. And again, its main out the center tool being a pair of scissors instead of pliers is really nice to me. Again, I don't find myself using the pliers in multi-tools all that often, to be completely honest. I know some of you definitely do, but to me, the scissors are more important. I use them more often than I do a pair of pliers. So this having a big old set of scissors is really decent. Now, saying all of this, I don't know whether this is a clone of another brand's multi-tool. I would love to know if anyone does recognize it. There are a couple of next tool models that look similar, but not with the same tool sets or layout. So as far as I could see, this Fleecer, whatever they're called, brand, this does appear to be original. I can't find it anywhere else, but yeah, as a final thought, this thing, obviously it's not going to replace a full-blown Leatherman. It's not made for that, but it's so cheap and so sturdy that this is something I really feel like you can't go wrong, either as something to throw in your car or just another tool around the house that you care less about, that you can jam into places and wiggle about, and if you lose it or you snap something, or who cares. It was £6. Like, you can't go wrong. In my opinion, from all of my investigations so far, this is the best sub £10 multi-tool that money can buy.